the meeting of the Lancaster School District. We're going to reconvene at 6:07.
This meeting is being transcribed and summarized.
Action to report from closed session. In closed session, the board approved by a unanimous decision, 4-0, with 0 abstentions. Settlement agreement and release in Los Angeles County Superior Court, case number 5ABC00296. District agreed to provide the plaintiff $30,000 in exchange for a withdrawal and waiver of claims against the district. Roll call vote was as follows. Ayes, Pete, Julie, Wayne, noes, 0, abstention. Here we'll move on to the Pledge of Allegiance led by a Lincoln student, Ayla.
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, by liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you very much. Good job. Welcome, everyone. And we'd also like to welcome, we have Julie Bookman in our audience from Eastside board member. So thank you for attending. And next we have informational items, enrollment report.
Okay, we've got total ETK through 8th grade, 13,498. Early learning department, 461 non-ETK. Total of 14,059 students, which is a gain of 10 from our last group. Total students, 1,216. Boston, 111. And armed forces, 717.
Thank you very much. The next AB 1200, public disclosure of collective bargaining agreements. Charles Coleman, Assistant Superintendent, Business Service.
I'm sorry, say that again.
AB 1200.
Oh, yeah, it's the AB 1200. That's what's on the board. Back in the county office.
Fantastic. That leads us to curriculum highlights. Lincoln Elementary by Principal Edith Alvarez, expanded learning opportunity staff, Studio A135, El Mariachi, Airborne instructors and students.
Thank you. Good evening, board members. I am Mrs. Aguilez, proud principal of Lincoln Elementary. I have the honor of leading an amazing school filled with incredible students and dedicated staff. Today, we are excited to highlight the amazing work taking place at Lincoln to promote attendance, positive behavior, social and emotional learning, and academic success. The visual and performing arts give students a reason to come to school, a voice to express themselves, and the confidence and discipline to succeed, strengthening not only academics, but character, connection, and community. At Lincoln, we truly believe we are built to lead and ready to rise. With that being said, I would like to go ahead and invite our first performers, Studio 8135 instructors, Maestro Ramon Vega, Merari Perez, and Marcos Camino, supported by ELO staff, and Lincoln supervisors, Ms. Rita and Ms. Miriam. Let's go ahead and give them a round of applause. Our triple AC chair, Amber Thornton. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good evening, board members. My name is Amber Gordon. I proudly serve as a first grade teacher at Lincoln Elementary. I'm an inducted mentor, club teacher, and our African American Advisory Council, AAAC, as you may know. Lincoln's AAA representative. I am dedicated to strengthening family and community engagement to support the cultural, academic, and social emotional success of our African American students within the Lancaster School District. With the support of our district, site administrators, and staff, I have enhanced diversity, student voice, and parent involvement through initiatives such as our Little Learners, Big Legacies, Black History Program, where TK through fifth grade students showcase their knowledge of Black history through multiple art disciplines. 2 weeks of themed Black History Speak, the Black History Week, dress up days celebrating culture, achievements, and resilience, and a well-attended hip hop bingo event that fostered meaningful family connections. Through my club, the Legacy Keepers, students explore diverse cultural histories through the arts and prepare for district academic competitions, such as the Black Knowledge Bowl and the AAPI Knowledge Bowl, and reinforcing our shared commitment to awareness and excellence. Building on this year's accomplishments, we will continue creating inclusive opportunities that uplift our students, celebrate culture, and strengthen the partnership between school and community.
Our Lincoln Links Mariachi, directed by mariachi instructor Steve Manzo, Roberto Garcia, and our amazing parent, Mr. Tony Vasquez. Let's go ahead and give them a round of applause. Hold to kind of give a round of applause.
Good evening, I'm Nicole Tapala, a first grade teacher at Lincoln Elementary and a proud parent of two, soon to be three Lincoln Elementary students. I'm here to speak on my dual perspective as a Lincoln teacher and parent. With 9 years teaching at Lincoln and 7 years watching my children grow up at Lincoln, I've seen many changes and watched Lincoln grow up also in a sense. We have steady, seasoned teachers dedicated to our students. Every year we gain new skills and refine our teaching practices. As a parent, I strive to be the teacher that I would want my kids to have. And I'm proud to say that my colleagues are all teachers that I want my kids to have. This year, Lincoln has seen many more changes with the new administration team, Ms. Aviles and Ms. Tyler. Our administrators have brought the community back into our school, something Lincoln lost for a bit after COVID. Through the addition of clubs and cultural performances, we've had so many proud moments to invite families in. This year, I took on the role of the art club. My son Daniel also had the opportunity to attend my art club along with ukulele and sports club. Through the sports club, Daniel found a love for soccer and basketball. Because of Mr. Long's ukulele club, Daniel asked Santa for a ukulele for Christmas. In art club, I'm able to teach foundational art skills and introduce important art history to my first through second graders and give freedom and choice to my third through fifth graders. The clubs are definitely something the students look forward to, since many of my students start their day saying, "My good thing is I have art club today." Clubs are also something that I look forward to. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to do something meaningful at Lincoln every day, and I'm blessed to know that my children are engaged, learning, safe, and happy while I'm working. Thank you.
Go ahead and now invite our amazing Starboard instructors, Sarkisha and Esmeralda, supported by ELO, supported by Lincoln supervisors, Ms. Wallace, Ms. Kiki, and Aurelia. Let's go ahead and give a round of applause to our Lincoln. Is being made use to great opportunities. Last but not least, I want to invite our student, Layla Gamage.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Layla Gamage. I'm 11 years old in the fifth grade, and I promote this year. I just wanted to give a speech about my fifth grade year. I just want to say how I appreciate all that Lincoln Elementary has done for me in the past 5 years. I love how they have different programs and different activities and so many kind people at this school. But when Miss Aviles and Miss Tyler came, I love how they made a change. And it's like amazing because some schools don't even get to do the things that we get to do. And sometimes we just have to be grateful for what we have, you know? So I'm just thankful to have two great principals and a mom like her. My mom has some I also want to thank all my teachers from the past 5 years. I especially want to thank Ms. Martinez for giving me courage and keeping me confident and just being nice to me and always helping me whenever I needed help. So I want to thank Ms. Martinez and I want to give a big shout out to my mom, Miss Kiki, for Employee of the Year.
All right, this concludes the presentation.
All right, great job, Lincoln. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. A lot of my own kids went to Lincoln, so I'm so excited to see all the neat things you guys are doing and involving parents, staff, and kids. Great job. And we have a little gift for all the students that performed and presented to our board meeting tonight. So we'll bring that forward and then you guys can come up and get that. Thank you for presenting. And the only place you can get it is here at the board presentation. So thank you so much. Job. Thank you again, parents. And next we have Amelia Flores with CFW, our Facilities Implementation Program, third semi-annual update.
That's gonna be a tough act to beat.
Yeah, really.
That was probably the best performance we've had. Everybody knows that I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, and so I was having moments of trying to realize, what are all the different activities I might be signed up for at some point. So it's nice. As entertaining as the time, but good evening. I'm Emilio Flores with CFW. I'm here to present the board with a third semi-annual update to the facilities program. It's currently implemented. As is our normal practice now, every 6 months we come back to the board to provide an overview of the overall facilities program progress, amendments, changes, necessary considerations, things of that nature. And so we'll move through that. If there's any questions at any point, please feel free to ask me as we go along. Just a bit of background for everybody. The original plan was adopted back in 2024 in January. Reflected a lot of prioritizations and planning processes was undertaken in 2023. Eventually, that plan led to the passage of Measure LS, which is the district bond program. And really what the plan looks to do is prioritize the implementation of modern 21st century learning environments, provide mechanisms to expand UPK, and to really address some of the aging facilities throughout the district in a meaningful and logical progression. The program utilizes Measure LS, also looks at additional funding from the state in the form of modernization grants, as well as new construction grants. It also depends on specialty programs from the state, such as the California Preschool and Transitional Kindergarten, Full Day Kindergarten Grant Program, and other programs available to us as we go forward with the program as well. We also look at developer fees and other sources of funds. One of the things that's not currently in the plan in terms of revenue source is the Belarus proceeds. That is a separate funding source that's utilized for specific improvements to go forward. Some of those proceeds may offset expenses that are done for eligible going forward. But at this time, we're not accounting for those in the program as a whole. Status of the projects underway right now. So we have 3 under construction currently. Sunnydale PSTKK. We figure we provide some nice pictures for once instead of having to do all the reading for you. But overall, continue with that project. We're hoping to get folks in there soon as we finalize some of the interior finishes and so forth. These pictures are from about 7 or 8 weeks ago, but moving forward with that progress over there. Nancy Quarry, we started construction on the new TKK buildings over there. We did have some difficulties and challenges with the wet weather. They say you're in the desert, right? So we had a couple of days so we had to dry out the forms, but overall construction is progressing over there as well. And over at New Vista, the demolition of the existing classrooms, the interiors is underway right now, working towards modifications to those classrooms. As the board may recall, one of the biggest things we had to do is that due to a change in the Division of State Architects building code, we actually had to relocate the interior doors to make sure that they're ADA accessible. And so, as you can see here, we're actually demoing into the hallway and so forth as we go forward. We'll bring in additional construction as we go forward with that particular project. Elsewhere, once we're done with the PSTK buildings over at Sunnydale, we're moving into the modernization of the existing kindergarten classrooms that are there, and to bring those up to a similar standard and functionality as the new classrooms, so that regardless of whether you're TKK or UPK child, you're able to have the same amenities of those 2 facilities. And then also looking at the modernization of the rest of the campus over there at Sunnydale, as well as the construction of a new gym over there. Monte Vista, very similar thing over there. We're looking at modernization, new construction of additional facilities. We're currently in the process of submitting that to DSA. One of the challenges we've had throughout the entire program is going back and making sure that previous projects were closed out. So there are 2 fundamental requirements as we go into construction. One is the current project approval from the Division of State Architect. Secondarily, in order to make sure you comply with past projects, DSA looks back as well. So if there's any projects that were opened up, projects that were previously approved by DSA, but were not verified in terms of their constructability at the end, DSA makes us go back and certify those projects. Typically, that's going back, make sure examining the as-built and so forth. The challenge there is that all these projects are called the inspector of record. Inspector of record is the state's representative to ensure that the building is being built to the codes and to the plans that were approved by DSA. And so if one inspector of record opened the project, the cleanest thing to do is to have them close it from a liability standpoint and so forth. Unfortunately, sometimes 10, 15, 20, 30 years have passed for some of these projects. That IOR is either no longer serving that capacity or has passed on. So we have to go back and find ourselves a new IOR to go back and close some of those projects out as well. So Monte Vista had one of those. We've had that other places as well, Nancy Quarry and so forth. And a lot of that closeout has to do with the installation of the portable buildings. So over the years, as those portables came onto site, there were DSA plans that they accompanied with, but they were never closed out as projects. So we're having to do that process as we go forward with that as well. Even if we just wanted to demolish them, we have to make sure we go back and certify those things as well. The other thing that we look at is also what we call project approval for California Department of Education. So also making sure that we are certifying these projects so that they are compliant with the regulations of Title V and other types of regulations that are under the education code. That enables us to between the DSA approvals and the CD approvals, that enables us to go apply for state matching grants. So we have to have both of those in hand before we can apply for that, those grants as we go forward there as well. Over at Sierra, Lincoln, and it's also over at Mariposa, Desert View. We're all in the process right now of the DSA review process. So those have been submitted to DSA, they're under review, they're coming out from the other side in probably about 4 or 5 months. We'll have the DSA project for all of those. All of those were put into the design process for a couple of reasons. The first one is that we want to make sure that we're able to get in line for state aid grants as quickly as possible. So these projects, even though they're slated for construction in phase 2, we move forward with designing those in the current phase in order to get in line for that Prop 2 money. We want to make sure we capture every single dollar we possibly can for modernization and new construction. And so in order for us to submit those applications, as we said, we need to submit DSA and CD approval letters along with that. The third part of that is the plan itself. So one of the other things that's happened over the last 6 months, it's actually taken almost 18 months now, is that the state has finally finalized its regulations as pertains to facilities master plans. As part of passage of Prop 2, they've set out a minimum requirements for a plan to be compliant with Prop 2, demonstrate that you've done the facility master planning process to their specification. We knew that that would come forward at some point. What we're doing right now is in the September report, we come back to you, is that we're probably about 85-90% compliant with the requirements as they've been finalized by the state. So our goal over the next 6 months is to bring the rest of the plan to that particular point so that when we submit this application to the state, here's the plan, here you go. The nice thing about it is that they're not requiring us to have the plan approved and ready to go at the time of submittal. They are having it, we need to have a board approved plan at the time of review. And once we do that particular review process, the plan is good for 5 years thereafter. So in September, we'll probably giving you guys a slightly thicker update that will have all that data. So for instance, one of the big requirements is a classroom by classroom inventory of every single site. So we have all the data, we've been compiling that, but one of the things you'll see in that next report is, okay, how many teaching stations do I have? How many storage rooms? How many admin offices? Down to that detail. So that's one of the requirements that will be in that next report as you go forward as well. The educational program continues to be the primary driver of these improvements. And so as the district continues to transition some of the schools over into a TK8 or a K8 model, we're trying to make sure that we are amending the plan to make sure that we're necessary, to make sure that we're reflecting that, and make sure that the improvements being proposed at each of those sites is being accounted for as we go into design and into construction as before as well. The other thing that we've been working on is just to finalize specification for classroom technology and audiovisual components. So working with the district in establishing what those overall parameters will be in terms of touchscreens and monitors and other types of systems in the classroom to make sure that whatever tools are currently being used and any tools that we anticipate being used in the future, the system inside those classrooms will be able to accommodate that. So we're doing that in a couple of ways. One is obviously the design process. The other thing as well is to move forward with the design of a demonstration classroom here in this complex over here. So use professional development for the IT staff as well as for the educational staff so that they can start getting their hands on what those rooms will look like and function as we look at improvements over here as well. On the state aid side, thus far, we've garnered a $5.4 million grant from the PSTKK. That's money in the bank that we've received. We believe at this point, given the rules of Prop 2, there's about $55.7 million in modernization grants. That the district is currently eligible for. So you have district facilities that are of age today qualify for approximately $55 million in grant funds. There's an additional $28 million in grants that will generate over time. So as some of your newer facilities or some of the facilities that have been recently modernized continue to age, those will generate additional modernization grants into the future as well. In addition to that, there's about $24.5 million in new construction eligibility available as well. And that may perplex some folks. Hey, enrollment's been steady or declining, right? Where's all those new eligibility come from? So a couple of things that the state looks at. One is overall trends. Where are you seeing growth? I would credit the district doing a tremendous job in UPK, really, emphasizing that. because the way that the state calculates out its projections, it heavily weighs TKK enrollment in its model. So if you see a large spike in TKK grades, it actually has an outsized impact on the overall state projections as it pertains to the new construction eligibility. The second thing they look at is development within the area. So the state, in its infinite wisdom, has decided that if you're able to demonstrate that there are final housing maps that have been filed and approved, they allow you to treat as if those houses were already built. So as you're seeing development move forward, as you're seeing people convert land right into single family lots or other types of lots of that nature, what's happening there is that the state's actually giving you credit for those even before those houses are built. So the combination of those two factors is what's contributing to that overall new construction grant. Thus far, we've applied for about $4.9 million in modernization funding applications based off of the eligibility at Sunnydale and Nancy Corey. That's the 2 kindergarten classrooms that we've done. Nancy Corey. Given where we're at with the design phase of all these other projects, we anticipate that another $56.5 million in applications will be filed in the next 6 months. So as those processes come out of DSA, as we get CE approval, we will be submitting applications and getting in line for additional $56 million. In turn, those dollars will be used to fund the construction of our next phase of improvements as we go forward. Overall, in terms of sources, a couple of things that have moved around. One is that additional dollars from new construction eligibility. That's something that we had alluded to back in September. So as you come back in March, give you a solid number, that's going to be, that's at $24.3 million. Secondly, the other thing that we've done is looking at our ability to sell bonds. So, we've actually been able to work through all the cash flows and say, okay, where are we at today in terms of our projects? We have our first phases of projects, the Sunnydale improvements, Monte Vista and Nancy Corey improvements. All of those things are geared up, ready to go. We have dollars for those today. When we look at the next phase of improvements in terms of our overall ability to start the next phase of construction projects, we have 2 options. One is we can wait for those reimbursements to come back from the state for all the applications we're about to submit. Or secondly, we can look at our ability to issue additional bonds from Ezra LS. Preliminary analysis indicates that we should be able to issue approximately $30 million as early as fiscal year 26-27. So anytime after July 1st of 2026. So that's something that we're currently exploring in terms of what we'll be able to do. Obviously, we want to make sure we stay within the parameters that was estimated to voters at the time of the election. But given the assessed valuation growth as well as where we are in the overall construction cycle, we'd only be accelerating that planned bond sale by about 9 to 12 months. So, in many ways, that acceleration there, that's very little in terms of the overall program. That's something to be aware of as we go forward. The other change that we've made is that we talked about this a little bit back in September, but there is a program called the Minimum Essential Facilities Program. Originally, we thought it was going to be a specialized program specifically for looking at ancillary or support spaces, such as libraries, cafeterias, and so forth. We're still going to try to pursue that money wherever possible. But one of the major things that they changed, and we talked a little about this in September, is that it's no longer a discretionary grant by the state. It's no longer a discretionary grant from the district side. It's not a discretionary grant from the state's point of view. So you can go through the whole design process, you can submit the application, you can seek money and design those things, but ultimately the state's going to decide whether or not it's going to give you the money. There is no clear rationale that we can follow to guarantee us to get those monies. So if we get them, great, wonderful. We'll add on to our overall war chest for what we do. But given where we have new construction money, which gives us more money than the MEF, the other sources, we put that money aside, saying if we get in the future, great, wonderful, we'll have additional dollars to spend elsewhere. But we're not going to be relying on that money going forward. In terms of uses, I think that the big thing here is that we're currently looking at ways in which we can go forward and accelerate some of the construction programs that we have here. So continue with construction of the things that we're currently under design, but then looking at what is that next phase of construction. Tentatively, what we're looking at is accelerating the construction over at Sierra. Sierra has a large number of new UPK classrooms. There's 12 classrooms that are being proposed to be built as part of that project, as well as the modernization of the existing building. It's a project that suits itself very well in terms of aligning goals of expanding UPK, taking advantage of new construction eligibility wherever possible, And so tentatively, that's what we're looking at. We're still working on the overall sequencing of that particular thing, that particular project as well, especially as it pertains to potentially that sale of bonds in the fall. Over the next 6 months, I know that there'll be a lot more people running around with sledgehammers and drills. So we'll continue to have work over at Signdale, moving into the rest of the modernization project, looking at Nancy, Corey, and Vista, and then commencing construction at Monte Vista once we come out of DSA as well. And then looking at our ability to progress with other projects as they are approved by DSA and CDE. Like I said before, a lot of effort will be put into submitting those applications for state grants, getting us in line for those as we go forward, and continuing to work with staff and the district in coordinating the logistics of all the movements. So one of the big things with this program is that we're doing a lot of construction with students and staff on site. You know, we're not shutting down a school, moving them off. We're doing a lot of phased construction at this point. That's how we're progressing to a lot of these areas. So that requires a high level of coordination. Mr. Coleman, the district staff, making sure that we know where everybody's going during construction as well. So we'll continue to overlook that or oversee that as we move forward. Typically, what we do is it's a two-step process. Tonight, I'm presenting you overall summary of the plan, and it will be under the board's consideration at a future board meeting in terms of adopting the changes and recommendations to it. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have at this time.
Yeah, a question about in Lancaster, just west of the movie theaters there and Walmart, they just put in a big apartment condominium. But did that make any changes to our projections for like school enrollment, or is it still up the same?
So I don't know the net impact on the school sites. I think it's something that Dr. Mary can probably either address now or at a future point.
We notice here in Lancaster that our enrollment has remained steady over the years, and we see a lot of housing going in. We see a lot of apartments, mixed housing developments going in. But what we don't see is a big influx of students into our school from one year to the other. It just seems to remain fairly steady, slightly in decline. So we'll take the income and the revenue that those buildings provide us and use them to update and modernize our schools, but we're just not seeing a big flood of new students coming in. But it's very consistent. We're very fortunate. There are a lot of districts up and down the state of California that are pink slipping and laying people out because of declining enrollment, and we are not one of those.
Yeah, just to add to Dr. Mary's point there is that, I go to a lot of board meetings, and March is always an interesting one. But I think overall, the fact that you guys are stable with a slight decline, that's an outlier for the majority of districts throughout the state. I work with another school district. They've lost 5,000 kids in the last 6 years. They used to have about 17,000. They're at like 12 now. So I think the fact that you guys are able to remain steady, that's the other thing. We're hearing a lot of people. The other thing that's kind of interesting from a demographic standpoint, just within the region, is that people that are moving to Lancaster and Antelope Valley as a whole, it's no longer a movement of, hey, this is where I'm going to start a family. Actually, what you're seeing now is that maybe you had a mother or father that had a number of kids that passed away, and they took that home that was in Ventura County, Santa Barbara, what have you, and say, okay, well, once you split up amongst all the kids, you're seeing those people take that dollars and moving out to Antelope Valley. See, I get a nice piece of property for that value. And so whereas before that kid would normally accompany said move, we're not seeing that as often now. It's people who are just relocating for the not the latter parts of life, but that middle age, if the kids are already gone through school. But the state hasn't caught up yet, so they still give us the grants.
Okay, great to see all the modernization moving forward, and thank you for all the extra work you put in to help secure the extra state monies that we can get. We really appreciate that.
Thank you. And I hope to report out, the next board, all those things are next report, all have been submitted. And hopefully sometime thereafter, hey, here's the checks, right? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, next we have individual action items. Superintendent, adoption of resolution 2025-2667, for compensation for this meeting, Julie Usler on March 3rd, 2026. Do we have a motion? Motion by Keith Giles. Mr. Wayne. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 3-0 with one abstention. Individual action items business 13. Approval of Lancaster School District's annual audit report for 2024-25 fiscal year. Do we have a motion? Move. By Mr. Wynn. Second. By Mr. Giles. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Next item. 13B, approval of amendment number 2 to agreement with Mino and More for DTSC services on Mariposa Elementary School modernization and new construction project. We have a motion by Ms. Usler. By Mr. Wayne. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. C, adopting a board resolution 2025-2635, making CEQA findings and approving categorical exemption, modernization and new construction project, Sierra Elementary School. Moved by Mr. Giles. Second by Mr. Wynn. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item D, adoption of board resolution 2025-2636, making CEQA findings and approving a categorical exemption for modernization and new construction project at Desert View Elementary School. Move. Mr. Wayne. Ms. Usler. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Individual action items, human resources. A, approval of tentative agreement with California School Employees Association, revised salary schedule at AB 1200 for 2025-26. We have a motion. Second. By Mr. White. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item B, approval of revised board member compensation amount of $1,500. We have a motion. So moved. By Mr. Wynn. Second. By Keith Giles. Any discussion? Favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item C, approval of Dr. Ingrid Hidalgo Lynn as Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services. We have a motion. Moved by Mr. Giles. By Ms. Usler. Any discussion?
I'd like to read something. All right. So Dr. Ingrid Lynn, over the past 20 years, Dr. Lynn has served as an elementary, middle, and high school teacher, adjunct college professor, site administrator, and district level leader. These experiences have shaped her commitment to strengthening curriculum, instruction, and assessment systems that ensure high levels of learning for all students. Dr. Lynn is especially proud of the collaborative work she's led to support instructional improvement, data-informed practices, and equitable access to high-quality educational opportunities, building strong systems, developing leadership capacity, and Fostering positive relationships with staff and families have been central to her work. As a parent of 2 children who she's proud of and the spouse of a fellow educator, education is both her profession and her passion. Outside of work, she enjoys traveling with family, spending time with her 2 Shih Tzus, hiking, dancing, reading, and cooking. And she is honored to serve in the Lancaster School District community and looks forward to working collaboratively to support student success and advance the district's mission and vision. And she's with us here in the audience in the back.
And with that, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? 3. Vote is 3-1 and passes. Congratulations. Welcome. Would you like to share something with us?
Yes, good evening, Board President. I brought an essay to share with you and board members. And good evening, Superintendent Maria. I just want to say thank you. Quick, acknowledgement that I'm honored to accept this position and be part of the team. I'm looking forward to stepping in this position with gratitude and really supporting our families, staff, and teachers, along with the team of Ed Services to enhance student experiences, not only in academics, but also in social emotional learning. So looking forward to being part of the team and supporting all of the work that has been occurring in the district. This is my family, my daughter, and my husband. My son is taking his final OChem final right now at UCSB, so he said he's gonna watch it later. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you so much. Okay, next we have approval of renewal contract for Michael Davis as Assistant Superintendent, Human Resources. We have a motion.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Huesler. Giles. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Three ayes, 1 no. Motion carries 3-1. Next, item 15, addressing the board. Individuals who wish to address the board may complete a speaker card and present it and any supporting documents, superintendent's assistant or other district official prior to the start of the meeting. Personal information such as a student, parent, guardian's name, address, phone number, date of birth, email address, or other directory information is defined in Ed Code 49061. Be excluded from the minutes of the meeting by submitting a written request. Board President shall recognize individuals who wish to speak. Individuals wishing to present testimony to the board concerning specific items on the agenda may do so once the item has been moved. Secondly, is on the floor for discussion. Time limits of 3 minutes per person and 20 minutes per item shall be allowed. According to board bylaws 9322, board members may ask questions for clarification purposes. However, no action may be taken and no discussion may take place on an item not on the posted agenda for the Brown Act. Comments from PTA? CSCA? Cal?
Good evening, everyone. We're all doing well and getting ready for break. I don't typically like to come out to the board meeting and make any kind of negative comments or even anything other than positive comments. But I feel like I need to address some things that I've seen floating around online directly about our schools and teachers, superintendents. I don't know if you have seen the Barbie movie. I don't know if any of you have seen that. But in that movie, there is a very poignant speech by one of the main characters about how difficult it is to be a woman in modern day. If you haven't seen it, I suggest that you watch it. But to give context, being in education is probably the most difficult job there is for all of us, from board members to superintendent to classified staff, to anybody that works with children and affects their life on a daily basis. I've seen some comments that were very negative and accusatory, and I feel like out of line and misplaced. Our are more difficult than they have ever been, and we have to balance every decision that we make. We have to consider safety of the students and staff first and foremost. And sometimes that means that we have to suspend a student to protect the safety of everyone else on the campus. Now, I've been in education 31 years. Never once have I looked forward to suspending a student or removing a student from my class. It has happened very rarely over my time in the classroom. And I don't know of another teacher or another staff member that enjoys that. We all spent our time in education to make a positive difference for students and for each other, for colleagues. So when we are put in that very difficult position to address behaviors that are dangerous and unsafe for everyone around us, it's a difficult decision. And I will tell you, my job isn't 7 to 3. It's whenever somebody calls me. And a lot of times I get those calls in the evening, in the morning, on the weekends, on a holiday, whenever somebody is feeling anxious about something that has happened to them within the capacity of their position. So I just want to say that we can either build each other up or we can tear each other down. Everybody has the decision every day, as my good friend Mr. Coleman would say, to help lift somebody's kite or to pull it down. And if all we want to do is pull it down for other people and make unfair judgments, then I think I would challenge people actually to rethink that and maybe try to help, maybe try to add something positive rather than just continue with the vitriol that I have seen online and that has come to me through email communication. We can look at something and think that we know what we're seeing, and there's always another side. There is always context, which can be attached to whatever that thing is to tell a more clear story. So I will end with that. And I really hope that anybody listening tonight or watching this board meeting on YouTube hears what I'm saying and will take some time to reflect and maybe pause before floating a video around or making unnecessarily mean and aggressive and misplaced comments about any of us serving as public officials in the school district. Thank you.
So we have comments from the audience.
Have a speaker card for Kristen Kent.
6 children were promoted from Paiute to are currently enrolled. The parent, I have full confidence in the safety and well-being of my students. My children choose to be a part of the amazing culture that dances, lunchtime clubs, after-school activities, sports, bands, field trips. They have decided to stay out of the drama, out of the he said, she said. They decide to surround themselves and have the same mindset, choice. Always about our kids that school comes first, and it will always take advantage of everything that they have. Of course, over the years, they've had disagreements and shifts of friends. They were overheard the drama amongst middle schoolers. They choose to be a part of the positive. As parents, it's our job to teach our kids how to act appropriately in any setting, no matter what. At the end of the day, how they learn to react now, shaping how they will react to things as an adult. I also have the privilege of being staff at Paiute. This is my 4th school year, and in my role as campus supervisor, I'm able to see the many sides of the school. Blessed. I'm blessed to be surrounded by such an amazing staff who cares so deep for our school's culture. Nothing is taken lightly, nothing is overlooked. Recently, I've been hearing parents speak so negatively about the school that I love. Using words like ghetto, uncaring, unsafe, and honestly, it's so sad. I am part of the safety team. We are the safety team who cares about each student, engages with them, plays with them, but most of all, we do everything in our power to keep them safe. Our team has been shoved on, hit, pushed to the ground, and slammed around. And it's sad. I've been approached by parents, have recently been told, comes with the job, right? No Lancaster families, our jobs. We need to find a way to hold our parents accountable for the actions that they're teaching their students, what's acceptable. But tonight, I just wanted to come share my heart. I wanted it on the record, the good. I love Paiute. I love as a Paiute parent, and I love it.
Your comments. Okay, next, we have consent agenda items, superintendent, item 16A to 16H. Keith Giles.
Second.
By Mr. Nguyen. Any discussion?
Just want to make a note of the nations we have had to the Welcome and Wellness Center. I'd like to turn it over to Charles to let him know, with the last meeting, we talked about food.
Yes.
And I'd like to have him tell you what's been done now.
Absolutely. Our director of CNS has partnered with a local nonprofit to donate our food that we have extra in the morning. Instead of throwing it away, we're able to donate that to the community. Thank you, Debbie and Larry. And we also enjoy the snack sharing. Trial snacks. Great job.
Thank you very much. With that, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 17, consent agenda items, business, item 17A to 17J. Moved by Ms. Huesler. Second by Mr. Nguyen. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 18, consent agenda items, educational services, items 18A to 18M. Moved by Mr. Giles.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nguyen. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 19, consent agenda items, human resources services, items 19A, 19I. Motion.
So moved.
Mr. Witt, second by Mr. Giles. Any discussion?
I'd just like to tell Mike Davis, what a great job. We have, I think, on the meeting, about 13 new substitute teachers. And I think that has a lot to do with Coleman. Yes. So thank you very much.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 20, consent agenda item, student and family services, items 20A to 20C. Giles. Ms. Huesler. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. So we have our first readings, legislative and policy discussion. Any comments on any of the first readings? No? Okay, next, comments from the board and superintendent. And we'll start with Mr. Witt.
Okay, well, there's not much to say other than congratulations to Dr. Lynn and her family for joining us on the Lancaster School Board, our school district. We are pleased for that. Thank you, Gina, for your outstanding speech. It was very direct, and I think, I hope those who haven't seen Barbie may watch it now with a different perspective. Todd, thank you for your help getting all those substitute teachers. We are so pleased for that. For all of the teachers, Ms. Avila, thank you very much for bringing Lincoln over here and showing how well they can perform. I see you're in a purple vest too. I don't see green though. So I would be careful. But I know some of our schools, they actually told their students no pitching anyone. So I'm glad to hear that. Debbie, thank you for the snacks. Thank you for bringing on our new vendors that we are receiving. And again, the salad bars at the school get nothing but rave reviews. So thank you very much. And to all the parents who came, you can see what the community has. We had Lincoln School here, and there wasn't an empty seat in the whole house. And so once the students performed and they get to go out for ice cream or whatever, you can see what a difference it makes. So I'm very happy to say our community supports Lancaster School District.
Thank you, Mr. Witt. Mr. Giles.
Okay, well, thank you guys for hanging out with us.
I do want to thank Lincoln for their bringing all the performers. I really enjoyed the dancers, the mariachi. I had some of all of those in my family and I don't need to watch Barbie. I lived it. I had 7 daughters, so I put together Barbie houses, Barbie camper vans, and you name it. We had the clothes. So yeah, I think they're all finally done. And I have granddaughters that are doing Barbie now. So yeah, we're gonna be away from that girl. Okay. Anyway, thanks to I wanted to thank Mr. Flores isn't here anymore, but thank him for coming down and giving us an update on what our models and that. And congratulations again to Dr. Lynn and Mr. Davis for being part of the team again. Well, you again and for the first time. So, and who else we got? I want to thank our speaker, Krista Kent. That was really nice to hear some good things about Paiute. I love Paiute too. And she loved Paiute. She loved it, and we had a great experience there. So yeah, just it might have been there at the time. I'm not sure, but it's what you make of it. You got to surround yourself with kids that are doing the right stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. But with that, that's good enough. And once again, thank you, Julie, for coming and watching us. I know you had to, but anyway, hopefully it was a little bit fun for you.
Thank you. Keith, Ms. Easler?
Wonderful person. I really, really enjoyed it. Visual arts got me through school, all the way through college. So it was great dancers, very much dance. Can't tell you how hard it is to make it sound. It sounds like try doing it. Try it sometime. It's great. They did an amazing job. And your cheer group, just and the fact that they recognize that that's what makes it fun about going to school. And that will for sure help them. They'll be in school. Again, a very interesting report. I mean, it's long, Laura's Center's report, and I really appreciate it. Yeah. Dr. Hildago Lynn, congratulations. Not sure if you're still back there, but welcome. And Gina, thank you so much. Appreciate your words. That was wonderful. And also thank you to whoever it was that spoke from Paiute. Thank you so much for bringing that. As long as I worked in the district, I thought that Paiute was kind of like a little sanctuary. And I do appreciate that school is what the kids make of it. School is what we help make of it for the kids. So I do appreciate that. Oh, and Debbie, the snacks were love the little.
Thank you. Ms. Easler? How are you? I acknowledge Lincoln and all the kids and parents. It was wonderful to see all the great things are going on. Lincoln, we want to acknowledge Kristen and I think she's speaking to the great staff. And every time we go to Paiute, they are working so hard, the teachers and staff over there. And we've come a long way with Paiute. Paiute is doing so well, and that's an acknowledgement to all their hard work. And it takes a community, so it takes a partnership between us and our parents and our community to bring it all together. And I believe we're moving absolutely in the right direction. So acknowledge the words Gina said too. I much appreciate it. This is difficult work we're engaged in. This is important work that we're engaged in. It's serious work that we're engaged in. I don't think there's anybody out there that takes it lightly. We come to work every day striving to do what's best for children. We're going to continue to do that. I want to acknowledge the great work Mike's doing, and congratulations on the renewal of his contract for all the work that he's doing. And I acknowledge the contract of Dr. Lynn and all the work she will do for our district. And lastly, I just want to acknowledge all the great women's history postings on our website of the women that work in our district. I think that's so cool to get information about all the great staff and educators that we have working for us. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Moretti. And thank you, Mrs. Lewis and Melinda, staff. It's fantastic, very uplifting. I love the cheer squad and how they were rooting for the school and teaching social emotional skills in the presentation. It was fantastic. My kids went to Lincoln, they loved it. I have a heart for that school, so it's neat to see. And also thank you, Gina and Kristen, for your input and getting a perspective. I know we're all working hard and our scores are going up, our suspensions are going down. Good things are happening, and it's neat to see with the school presentations and everything, all the good things that we are doing. I know it is difficult today with social media. A few people can say some things that are difficult, but everyone has doing a fantastic job. We keep up the great work, and we really appreciate you and support you. It's neat to see the presentation with Emilio, with our vision for the future, modernizing our schools and going forward on that. Congratulations, Mike and Dr. Lynn, and we welcome you and look forward to doing great work. With that, we will adjourn at 7:23. Motion. Moved by Mr. Wynn, second by Ms. Huesler. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Have a good night, everyone.